Not me. I'm in my prime.
Are you ready for some Prime?
I am Optimus Prime.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Amazon Prime. Oh yeah, it's been a couple months. I got my Amazon Prime back. I paused it for a while, just to have it paused. I just wanted to pause it and see what it was like, see what was out there, and so anyhow, I picked up 9 movies and games over the last month and a half on order, and I hit so good on Christmas, and I was going through there, and I can't believe what I found. If Chris or Eddie or CJ's watching this, guys, stay tuned to the end of the movie. Eddie and Chris, you will see something that surprised me. That they actually had this in DVD. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get that. Because I thought the odds I'll never see it again. But we're going to start off with some movies. But the big one's at the end. So we're going to start off with some movies. And one of the first ones I found, and I remember watching this back in the day as a little kid, back on HBO, back in the 80s, with Beyond Hay Beastmasters on. It was basically Scavenger Hunt. Scavenger Hunt is a movie with Richard Mulligan and Roddy McDowall. It's got Cloris Leachman and Scatman Crothers. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eddie. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in this movie, Scavenger Hunt. It's pretty wild. But anyhow, in the movie, this one has a millionaire, has these strangers all compete in a scavenger hunt for his money. This dying millionaire, and it's really a nice movie. It's wacky, it's funny. I was like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna pick that up. And I saw it in there on Amazon Prime for cheap. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. Now, another movie that I'm very happy to find, and I've been looking for this one because it's a sequel to one that I got, and it took me a while to find it. So back last year before, you might have seen me discuss how it took me a while to find a good copy of Cannonball Run. Now, the Cannonball Run, it's a little bit hard to find around local at times, but I found it. And it and 2 are on Amazon Prime. Well, I didn't need Cannonball Run. I needed Cannonball Run 2. So I was looking for a cheap copy because I don't like to buy, I'm looking for something that's good. And I'm scrolling through deals, and all of a sudden I found one with 2 movies together, Cannonball Run and the Gumball Rally. I have no clue what the Gumball Rally is. I've never seen it. So I was like, well, I just need the sequel. I just need Cannonball Run 2. This will just be an extra one to see what this movie is. And Cannonball Run 2 had everybody come back. Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise.
Dun, dun, dun! I am Captain Chaos.
God, that man was funny. It was funny as shit. Dun, dun, dun. I think about getting an A-Team van like that, and me putting on a mask and being like Dom DeLuise and jumping out of the vehicle, looking at it and go, yes, Eddie. It's my faithful companion, Kato.
And this is my faithful companion, Kato. Say hello, Kato.
That guy made the movie. There was a lot of wacky people, but Dom DeLuise made that movie. Him and Burt Reynolds. And I would love to get Cannonball Run 3, which is not called Cannonball Run 3. It's called Speed Zone. Speed Zone is one of those films that it didn't have none of the cast. I think only Jamie Farr come back, I believe. I think he's the only one to come back. But the rest of the cast didn't. And it was basically him, it was just the new ones. John Candy, Eugene Levy. And it was kind of sad that, none of the big ones come back, and it didn't do well at the box office. And it's really just been, I've not been able to see a release of it. I looked on Amazon Prime for that one. I searched, man. I was like, man, I'd love to get Speed Zone and complete my Cannonball Run movies, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. And Sean told me when he was at Cheap Thrills, he looked for it too for me on there. He's like, dude, I can't find it. He said, I cannot find it. I was like, oh, man. And he found a VHS of it, and he tried. And I should have took his word on it, but I searched myself, and I couldn't find it. Now, this next one is one that I was going through TV series, and I always scroll through there to see if there's any kind of deals, if there's any really good, cheap deals. Anyhow, I'm sitting there scrolling through, and all of a sudden, I see The Night Gallery, the complete series, The Night Gallery. And I remember this series. I watched almost a few of these episodes. The Night Gallery is one of Rod Sterling's best works. Everybody knows him for The Twilight Zone. Yes, The Twilight Zone is a great series, and I'm not going to deny that. I love The Twilight Zone. I watch the marathons on Sci-Fi every New Year. When I'm home, I watch most of those episodes. I've seen them like 100 million times. I love the one where the old farmer dies, and he's the old hillbilly dies, and he's like him and his dogs trying to find a way to heaven. Perfect episode. There's the one where the guy's the pool shark, and he's thinking about his son, and or the salesman that's, defies death, and he finally does for the greater good because he doesn't want the little girl to die. He's like, he makes a sales pitch to save a little girl's life. That's a beautiful episode. And that's the kind of selfless act that you don't see a lot of people do, for that little girl to live. He's like, I gotta, sacrifice myself. So, good episode. But Sterling's Night Gallery is really good too. So, and I think it didn't run as long. And God, man, this guy was so good at how cool he was, how he was strolling out and smoke that cigarette and be like, we're going to tell you a tale. And then he'd go into this big long speech about the characters, and he's like, in the Twilight Zone. And he does the same thing here. There's painting galleries in the Night Gallery. Does the same thing. And Sterling wrote, I think he wrote some of these episodes, most of them, and he done like the Twilight Zone. Guy was brilliant. Guy was just brilliant. They said he worked himself too hard and he smoked too much, and that's probably, back then it's a recipe for disaster, But great work. If you ever get a chance, get to Night Gallery. And the price I paid for that, I almost crapped my pants. I was like, holy crap, I better get that before that goes out, because you ain't gonna see that price. Now I'm gonna show off a few games before we get to the big movie. And one of these is the Pac-Man Museum game for the PlayStation 4. And I saw this, and I was like, holy crap, 14 games for the price. And this one's got, God, man, it's got Pac-Man, it's got like so many different versions of Pac-Man involved. And I think it's got Miss Pac-Man on here too. But I mean, God, man, look at that. Look how many versions of Pac-Man they've got on this thing. It's just wild. That's just wild. And I was like, I had to get it, for the price and that many games of Pac-Man on it. I know Pac-Man's old school, but where else are you going to get a game like that? And for that price. Now, I almost didn't get this game because I love RPGs. Yes, I love RPG games. I love long RPGs. I just finished off one, and I'm right now I'm back. I'm in Final Fantasy Rebirth right now, and I'm in Persona 3 loaded, and I'm doing the Trails games. Dear Lord, man, I got a lot of RPGs. But anyway, NIS is one. They call it NIS America at times. NIS is one of the best studios for RPGs. Their Legend of Heroes Trails series is probably one of the best wide-spanning series that's ever been put out. They have a series of games taking place in different countries, and the entire continent is like on the verge of going to war with each other. The characters are one set in a school. Trails to Azir and Trails into Blue, or Zero. Trails into Zero and Trails to Azir are set in a country, in another autonomous state that's got a police force. And it's like, there are different things, different things going on. And these games have ran for years, and I have a lot of them. And one of them I picked up was Niatu. Boundless Nyata, I guess that's how they pronounce it. The Legend of Nyata, Boundless Trails. This is one of them. And NIS games are hard to find at times. They get hard to get. I think I told the story where I had to look hard for Trails to Azir. the North American release. They had the UK, but they carry their games over, their save data and all the stats and stuff. So it's very hard. You know, you want the American version, the North American version, and I was lucky to find that. And that's one of them right there. And I need to really slack off my RPGs, but I love them. Love RPGs. I'm an RPG fanatic. Now we're getting into the final two games, and they're PlayStation Vita games. In the Vita games, I was surprised to find these too cheap. Vita games are getting hard. My one complaint about GameStop, I wish they would actually take stuff off the service. Instead of having, sometimes they'll put currently unavailable out from something, which is nice. You won't click it. Sometimes they won't. The Vita games are like that. They will have you sit there and you will click it, and then you'll scroll down and you'll see that you can't order it. It's like a freaking teasing you. Like, oh, I can get a Vita game for $12. Okay, that's good. That'd be good for my collection. Scroll down. Currently not available. I'm like, what the? Come on. Why don't you just put it on the site if you're going to do that? Why don't you update your site? But Amazon isn't like that. If they don't have it, Amazon will show that it's not there. Thank you, Amazon. Anyhow, one of the new ones I bought was Lego The Hobbit for the Vita. Lego The Hobbit. Now, I had this game for the PlayStation 3, and this one actually, I thought this was the same kind of version, and I don't like to buy the same version with the same trophy data and stuff like that. So I was reading on, and I realized that the Lego version on the Vita is different than the Lego version on the PlayStation 3. So this one is a completely different type game, and it's got different trophies, and so yeah, I went ahead and got it. You know, I love Lego games, and I love my Vita, so why not? Why not get it? Now, another one I picked up, and this was a cool cover. This was cheap, and I've seen this one advertised before, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on this one. It's at a good price, so go for it. Army Corps of Hell. Yes, Army Corps of Hell. Reclaim your throne as the King of Hell. Yeah, Square Enix put this one out. Square Enix. And Square Enix they've experimented with games, and I do love the fact that they put out Forspoken last year, right? And so people said, man, this game is not well received, and people was like, you know, giving it, because they didn't like the protagonist, how she acted and how she was done and on the TV. And so one of the main drawing points of selling Final Fantasy Rebirth was showing off Tifa in a swimsuit. That was funny as shit. I gotta admit, that was a good sales pitch. That was one of the things they showed. I'm like, okay, Square Enix, yeah, I'm going to get the game anyway. I'm not caring about Tifa in a swimsuit, but that is perfect. That is how you sell a game to people. I laugh so hard about that. But yeah. And I gotta give Square Enix credit for that one. That was funny. We gotta sell some games to people, to the men in the West. How do we do it? We'll put Tifa in a swimsuit and show off the goods. Props on that one. Okay, now we're getting to the big one. This movie, I was shocked to the system that this movie was on Amazon Prime. I was like, on Amazon to order, and I was like, I had to do a double type because I was scrolling through movies, and I was like, whoa. But anyhow, little history lesson here. Back about a year and a half ago, me and Eddie was at Chris's house. And we're going through Chris has this huge movie collection. Chris has a huge collection of movies, and he's showing us some stuff, and me and Eddie's like, I got movies, but Chris is a theater. So I'm sitting there looking at Chris's movies, and he pulls off one on Blu-ray. And I remember the movie. It was Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll was an animated film from back in the 80s. It really isn't known that much. It used to air on TBS or TNT late at night, and he showed me the Blu-ray of it. And he said, I got this a couple years ago, man. He said, I've had it. He said, And he said, I didn't know it was worth that much. I was like, really? You mean, I was like, man, I'd like to find me that Blu-ray because I'd like to get me one. I know I can't trade no movies with Chris because I don't really have nothing that he'd want, you know, because he's got almost all the movies. This ain't like comics, you know, where we can find an issue that we need. So I pull out, he pulls out the Rock and Roll, and he's showing it, and he said, good luck trying to find it, man. That's a pricey movie. And I got home, and I looked, and damn, it is a pricey movie. Rock and Roll on Blu-ray is pricey. So I was like, I just resigned myself to just hoping I could find it at a thrift store or antique store or flea market one day. So I go through Amazon Prime, and I'm scrolling through movies, and then I go through and I find Rock and Roll on DVD. Yes, they started selling Rock and Roll on DVD in a 2-disc set. I don't know if they still have this available or not, but yeah, this came along around mid to late February. I couldn't believe I found this. I was like, I had to do a double take when I saw this. I was like, are they actually selling this? But sometimes you'll see poster across from from the movies that you're looking for. I was like, I still couldn't believe it. I said, if I get this in the mail, I'm going to go ahead and order this. If I get this in the mail, I'm going to do a double take, like I did Trails to Azir. And it's here. Yeah, I mean, I'm still shocked. I don't know who put this out. I don't know what company put this out, but it was released. And I don't know if they still have copies of it or not.
Good news, everyone!
Anyhow, that's my pickups. All 9 movies and games over the last month and a half, 2 months. So nothing other than Rock and Roll, but major like that. But I want to thank you for watching these Amazon Prime pickups. Maybe in a couple months I'll do it again. Slowly order some movies that I need, that I'm looking for in my collection. Like I said, I'm looking for classic films, stuff that I grew up on watching, and if I can find a cheap game or two, I'll pick them up. So thanks for watching. Till next time, drop me a comment, like or sub the channel, hopefully. Thanks for watching.